Hello, how you doing? I hope you're doing great. Welcome to our Kingdom Hearts 4 future discussion. I promised I would do it a week later. It's not exactly a week later, it's like minus a few days, because, you know, we just finished this on Thursday, I believe. So, it's not exactly a week, but it's 5 days later. It's good enough, right? This is a disclaimer. We're not going to be talking about everything Kingdom Hearts from the beginning of time till what we just saw a few days ago. We are just talking about the future of Kingdom Hearts. Where do we go from here? So just I'm throwing that up as a disclaimer. Also, as of a few days ago, and I've mentioned this in the comments, I just got caught up on the Kingdom Hearts Union patch that just came out a few days ago. So there's a lot of stuff here that may not be as relevant, considering that Union just came out. My cutscene is starting. But it's just something to keep in mind. I said that a week later I was going to talk about the in-game stuff. I was going to talk about the future of Kingdom Hearts and the secret movie. I've now unlocked the secret movie. I haven't gotten to level 99, but I've gotten the in-game stuff all done pretty much. I will show you that in game as well. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and talk about the future of Kingdom Hearts after that ending that you saw last week. And then after you see the secret movie here in a moment, where do we go from here? So as a refresher, we're going to go ahead and watch the epilogue one more time. We've seen the ending. We're going to watch the epilogue one more time. I'm going to shut up, turn it up so you can hear everything as it's supposed to be. Last week, I noticed that the volume was lowered because I accidentally left it lowered after the credits rolled. So we're going to turn this up, and then we're going to watch the secret movie, and then we're going to discuss this. We're going to discuss the future of Kingdom Hearts, and then I'm going to show you some in-game stuff, right? So let's go ahead and start with the epilogue that we saw at the end of last week's video, Lost Masters.
Finally, back where it belongs.
Did you summon us back?
Yep.
Is that you, Lucio? You look different.
Haven't heard that name in a long while. These days they call me Zigbar, but hey, whatever suits you.
Is it really you?
Yeah, but some time ago I had to cast my old form away. Been through plenty more semblances since, but it's still me underneath it all.
What happened? Why are we here? You tell me!
I had a role to play. And after all these years, it's done.
What role?
I guess Ava didn't make it after all.
Meaning what?
I told her, clear as day, what it is I had to do.
And is that why you decided to exclude her?
As if. Ava had her own mission, and she carried it out.
I've heard enough! Lucio, what was your role?
I hope you like long stories.
Oh, right. What's this? I heard about this new game. Hmm. 7 black pieces, and? Just watch.
Yep. All right, so that is the Lost Masters ending that we saw last week. I didn't get to discuss it as much. I discussed it a little bit, and just to make things a little more clear, again, I'm not going to go into their importance and role for the past, whatever. That's something, if y'all ever want me to do a breakdown video of each Kingdom Hearts storyline, game, connections, I can. It'll just take time because it's a lot to compile, and I don't want to do like an hour video each. I'd rather, if I did a video on those, I'd rather than be 10 minutes or less. There's no reason to go into super deep details for what's supposed to be a summary. But in this epilogue scene or whatever, we see Lushu, who's also known as Zigbar, aka Bragg, I think. And basically it's revealed that, oh, he was playing dumb. He was playing dumb in this whole time, just trying to nurture Xehanort's lust for a Keyblade War. We'll get into that in a minute as well, because part of the in-game stuff I have to show you is the secret reports, which we'll go over those as well. So this basically sets up, as far as the future of Kingdom Hearts, we now have questions. The foretellers are back. What is in the box is probably the biggest question everyone has right now. Where is the Master of Masters? We don't know where he is. We know his Keyblade that he passed on to Lushu was important, that it be passed on to somebody who was supposed to start the Keyblade War and actually finish it, and thus is what would just happen. Lushu, one way or another, bequeathed his Keyblade to Master Xehanort. I believe as a child. I don't know. We'll go over the secret reports again. Bequeathed it to Master Xehanort, and then now Lushu sought his mission out. He gave it to somebody who was consumed with pure darkness, who was willing to see the Keyblade War through from beginning to end. He accomplished his mission. He's got his Keyblade back. Now what? His role is done. Does that mean Lushu is now going to go off on his own agenda? Does he have another task? What was the box about? There's a lot of things that Kingdom Hearts 4, or the next Kingdom Hearts game is really, I'm dubbing it Kingdom Hearts 4, okay? That KH4 is going to have to answer. You know, why are the foretellers back? Where did they go that they're suddenly back here? What's in the box? What's Lushu's agenda now that, as far as we know, his role is over? And then, of course, where's the Master of Masters? That's what this answers. So we now have a lot of questions as far as that goes. But let's get into the secret movie for those who have not seen it. If you do not want to be spoiled, then again, finish the game. But I mean, you probably already spoiled right now that, you know, Sora's continuing. I've already said it before in the end of the last video. But if this is your final warning, if you don't want to see this, cut ahead or something. But I'm going to talk about it. If you're here, leave if you don't want to see it. But if you're going to see it, you haven't seen it, let's watch. This is the secret movie, Yozora. All right, so that was a secret movie. Okay, so what does it mean? Feel free to rewind it to reference everything I'm about to talk about. There's a lot of stuff that's implied here. For example, the first and biggest thing, the question is, where are they? When I first saw this, I actually didn't know anything except for one particular building, which anyone who's a fan of the series knows the building. And I didn't know anything else. I was like, I really don't know where they are. So I did my own research. I got involved with some discussions on Reddit, on Twitter, along with some other for the KH forums, KH13, stuff like that. And it seems like the common belief, and I'm pretty much on this board, on this train too, whatever you want to call it. The common belief is that they've landed in the world that ended with you. The world ended with you. The world ended with you is a game that we saw on Dream Drop Distance. The world ends with you. Sorry, not ended. I just realized. I knew I was saying something wrong. The world ends with you. We saw the characters from that game appear in. Shoot, I'm trying to. My brain's dying. In Dream Drop Distance. There you go. We saw those characters there in Traverse Town. So for anyone who remembers Dream Drop Distance, you remember going to Traverse Town, all that. Those characters there are from The World Ends With You. And I believe The World Ends With You was just released on the Switch, because I know I recently bought it. I can't remember what. Yeah, I think it was the Switch that I bought it on. So that's kind of something to consider. That we might have something here where Sora's now landed in Shibuya. And the reason why that's pointed out, because if you rewind and look at that one building that says 104, 109, back and forth, I think it's 104 it's supposed to be. That is the building that you see on the cover of The World Ends With You, if I'm not mistaken. I should look it up right now, but whatever. You see that world in The World That Ends With You. You see that building. That building is particular to that game. So, a popular theory, and something that I called out as soon as I unlocked the secret movie, and thankfully I'm not the only one. I did find that other people agreed with me. So something that I found was, people agreed with me that we might be done with Disney Worlds. Like, we actually might be completely done with Disney Worlds. Which would be huge, that we have no Disney World whatsoever anymore in Kingdom Hearts. It sounds crazy. Like Kingdom Hearts without any Disney characters or Disney World? It's nuts. However, there's a few things that would make sense for this. One, the most obvious thing is Square Enix then has total control over what they say in the Kingdom Hearts game. And the reason why I think this hasn't been posted anywhere online that I know of, unless someone's going to find it and correct me. But what's been really popular is if you look at the menu screen of Kingdom Hearts, and I probably should have pulled it up before I went here. If you press triangle, there's a streamer notice. It basically lets people know like, hey, you're free to stream this. We want people to stream this, but there's gonna be copyright stuff in here. Disney and Pixar are involved. There's copyright stuff in here, you know, just so you know. And it was never more prevalent that there's scenes in Kingdom Hearts that perfectly match the movie. For anyone who saw my whole Let's Play, you saw that I kept trying to... I had one issue where I had to do a crisscross type screen. Oh no, that's for the opening. Well, still, I've had moments where I've had to slightly adjust the audio or the image or flip it or something just because copyright. Literally just because of copyrights. And it frustrated me. I hated having to do it. I felt terrible. I never want to ever block out a screen if I don't have to. And that's the thing. I don't care if they make money off the videos I make. I don't care really, honestly. Is their work? Sure. If they want to make money off it? Sure. Whatever. Frustrated, but sure. Whatever. What I care about is if they block in every country. Anyways, this is the future of Kingdom Hearts. This is not copyright discussion. So the thing is, like, without Disney, Square now has total say over the game. And so a popular theory that I have, and I guess others do as well, is that we're gonna move on full on to video game based worlds. No more Disney, which is gonna be kind of sad. Like, I don't know how to feel about it, honestly, and I haven't had a definitive answer to anyone who's asked me whether I agree on if Kingdom Hearts 4 should not have Disney movies or not, or Disney themed worlds or not. Part of me is excited because it means we can move on to other projects, other worlds. You know, The World Ends With You is a good one. Final Fantasy. Speaking of, in that secret movie, there is a clear, very clear sound in the background. And I'm going to butcher this name. I want to say it's called Sominus. I think it's Sominus. That sounds familiar. And for anyone who doesn't know, that is the theme song for Final Fantasy 15 with Noctis. Final Fantasy 15 is the reason why Kingdom Hearts for anyone who doesn't know, Kingdom Hearts 3 is so, trying to avoid words, is so late. It's so freaking late because the game developers of Kingdom Hearts 3 were gutted basically to work on Final Fantasy 15. Now don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy 15 was an amazing game. I love that game. If you look between this and 15, they both actually play super similar. Think about the combat from this game and think about the combat from Final Fantasy 15. For anyone who's played both or seen both, they play so similar. And it was amazing. It's super amazing that we were able to get 15 as good as it was. The only problem is, of course, for those who are actual Kingdom Hearts fans, like you were obviously upset that you didn't get to have Kingdom Hearts 3 sooner. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Kingdom Hearts diehard, so I'm still upset. Doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I loved 15. 15 was amazing. 15 was one of the very few games that I finished it and immediately wanted to play again. The only other two games in recent memory that made me want to do that was God of War, which is understandable, and Mass Effect Andromeda, which I've been yelled at for. Apparently I shouldn't enjoy Andromeda, but I did. I actually loved Andromeda. So in Kingdom Hearts 4, we obviously have a very clear, hey, we're in the world that ends with you as far as Sora goes. Now, it's been said that Riku is in Shinjuku, which again is a place in Japan. I don't know. I couldn't say honestly. I've never been to Japan. I know a lot of the buildings there and a lot of the cities, but doesn't mean I recognize them on site as apparently some people did when they saw the secret ending. So don't take my word for it. I'm only reporting that part as news. So we now have, as far as we know for Kingdom Hearts 4, we have Master Lucio. What does he want now? Now that, as far as we know, his role set to him by the Master of Masters is done, what does he want? What does Lucio want now? What's in the box, obviously? What is this giant secret thing that's in a box that we were teased in Kingdom Hearts back cover movie and apparently has been around this whole time, told never to open it? What's in this box? Third question, the Union leaders, the foretellers, why are they here? How did they get back? What was so important about Lucia getting the Keyblade, the unknown Keyblade back in order to summon them back? Because they said, we've been summoned. They're obviously confused. Why are they there? So far outside of their time zone, obviously. Or from the Unchained realm. So it's a little confusing about what's going on there. Now, of course, as far as Sora goes, we're on the hunt for Kairi. Xehanort shattered her is one way to put it. Killed is something that we don't know if we can ever say when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. It's one of those games, media, movies, whatever, that where dead doesn't ever really mean dead. I mean, look at the organization members. Like, literally look at the ending of Kingdom Hearts episode, the video 12 or 13. I think it's 13. We destroyed the nobodies, the organization, which were nobodies, which means that when we destroyed them in Kingdom Hearts 2, they came back as people. They reformed back into their human state. And then they gave up their humanity again to become nobodies. And then we killed them again to put them back as humans. So obviously this is something that can quote unquote easily be thrown back and forth for. Now there's an argument that no, it's only when a Keyblade is used, etc, etc. That's why Roxas is the way he is. So it's a little confusing and frustrating to me that it's something that can so easily hop back and forth. Like, no, we'll give you a chance. Now every bad guy had to have a redemption story, and I feel like the only reason they did that is because why wouldn't they just become nobodies again? If that was something that they could do, is become nobodies and become all powerful or whatever, why not just do it again? It's kind of frustrating. It really is, honestly. Like, I honestly thought it was frustrating. I honestly thought, my God, what are we going to do as far as all the organization members are concerned? Do they all just, I mean, like Xemnas and Ansem, do they disappear completely now? Or is there a young Xehanort being formed that was actually Terranort? That it's, oh my gosh. There's a lot of somewhat unanswered questions that were kind of skipped over, obviously. But the main things we have to be concerned is Kairi's out there somewhere. Apparently Xehanort didn't kill her. He banished her. I don't know. And that's not official. That's just me making a joke. But basically Kairi's somewhere. Sora needs to find out where she is and how to get her back. I honestly thought she would have been in the final world and Sora just has to find a way back there without like destroying himself. And then there's Riku. Why? Don't get me wrong, I said this towards the end of the game. I said I actually wouldn't mind if we had a story with Sora and not Riku. Like just a Sora solo story. That's coming from somebody who was in love with Riku's character, most favorite character up until Aqua was introduced. And we don't know. We don't know where Riku is, or where Riku is, excuse me. We don't know how Riku got there. He looks like he just woke up. It almost looks like they're in the dreaming world, which is from Dream Drop Distance. It almost looks like they're in the sleeping worlds again. And that is a theory. It is entirely possible because of the way Sora wakes up in the middle of the street, because of the way Riku wakes up in the middle of the street. Now, to the people who have said for sure, like they are dead ho, like this is the sleeping worlds because they woke up. Why else would they be sleeping? Sora's looking for Kairi. Okay, well my answer is this. One, the credit to why it may not be a sleeping world, and one of the big things why it is because Riku's there. But the credit to why it may not be a sleeping world is because in the beginning of Kingdom Hearts, the first game, Sora woke up in Traverse Town. In most of these games, it's briefly brushed over what happens when they land on the worlds. It's just, hey, they're suddenly here. We don't know what could have happened. Maybe Sora's flight, whatever, got hijacked. He basically teleported out of the Keyblade graveyard. So he may not have known where he's going. He said he's letting his heart guide him. Doesn't mean he knows exactly where he's going. So he teleports out, bam, some unknown place, knocked out and confused. So, I mean, in The World Ends With You, the location, I don't know. Like, it's something where I really want to know, what do you guys think? Would you want a Kingdom Hearts that just had Final like Square Enix worlds, like Final Fantasy worlds, or maybe original world, entire worlds that are original or maybe even other games that Square has a partnership with, other studios. Who knows? I couldn't say for sure. Before we end this video, we're gonna go through the secret reports. I'm gonna read them. If you wanna, you know, abandon or not listen to my terrible reading, then feel free to mute it until we're done. But we want to go through the secret reports for anyone who hasn't seen it. And after this, we're just gonna play with Ultima for a bit. Let's go through secret reports. Then you'll see Ultima. You haven't seen it yet. So secret report number 1. Recollections. Am I alive? I woke in a cell, alone until the researchers Gosh. I'm trying to read faster than when I'm actually talking. Am I alive? I woke in a cell, alone until the researchers came with their tests and their prodding to uncover my identity. I had no answers to offer them. 4 friends and a key. That is the sum total of my memory. I could not even recall my name. I was simply called X there. My only solace was the time I spent talking with 2 boys who would visit from time to time. One day, a man came to take me from the prison. I could not see him for the darkness, save that he wore an eye patch. Even now, years on, I feel no closer to understanding who or what I am. May my heart be my guiding key. Unknown. So for this, I have no idea. Honestly, I don't entirely know who it could be. There's multiple theories about who it is. My first thought after going through the secret movies and all that is I have to wonder, could Ava, I like to call her Ava, but apparently she's called Ava. Could it be her? See, I woke in a cell until the researchers came with their tests and prodding to uncover my identity. It means whoever this person is doesn't remember who they are, and some people are trying to find them. She had no answer to offer them except 4 friends and a key. That is the sum total of my memory. 4 friends and a key. See, if it was 4 friends and keys, like, again, that's where, I don't know, honestly. It's really confusing about who it could be, honestly. My gut tells me it's someone that we have probably seen of in Kingdom Hearts Union, because we're done with Xehanort. So anything that goes into Kingdom Hearts 4 is likely going to be from Union. So it could be Ava, could be Skuld. Forget that one girl's name. I can't even pronounce it. But anyways, it could be any number of girls that are from Union that quote unquote disappeared. Zigbar, Lucio being able to see them. See, I think I've seen reports online where some people were like, oh, it's got to be Ava. It's got to be Ava. Like, it has to be. Well, the foretellers in the epilogue recognize Lucio. Even though his face is different, they still recognize, oh, this is Lucio. However, doesn't mean that that's what's his name? Acid, the Unicornus leader. He looked directly at the Keyblade and then was like, ah, you must be Lucio, basically. So who knows? It's entirely possible because a man came to take her from the prison. Could not see him for the darkness, save that he wore an eye patch. Well, we don't even know it's a her. I'm just saying. It seems like it probably is. I couldn't say for sure. I really want you guys to discuss this. I might do a follow-up video. Maybe. I really don't know if I should. But I might do another follow-up video on just the secret reports. Because there's so much stuff to uncover. With Union still in the works, there's a lot of speculation on who this person could be. I think the most back and forth is Ava and Skuld between people online. I'm on the Ava boat. I still think it's Ava. We don't know exactly what happened to her, I don't think, after she formed the Dandelions. Because her and the other Union leaders, pretty much as far as history goes, went to go see through the end of the Keyblade War. She was just tasked with finding Dandelions who were going to survive after this. and form new unions. I don't know, because again, the whole 4 friends, 4 and a key. I mean, it's not Sora, Donald, and Goofy, because that's 3 friends and a key. It's the A key that throws me off. If it was 4 friends and keys, like with an S, then I'd really be like 90%. I think it's Ava, or Scold. But again, it says A key, A key. So does that mean out of 4 friends, only one of them's a Keyblade wielder? I don't know. Discuss, please discuss. I will be super active in the comments for this one. Mark of Mastery Journal. Some days have passed since I set off on my journey to prepare for the Mark of Mastery examination. Ericus asked for leave to undertake the same pilgrimage, but apparently I am to be the first to tour the worlds written of the old fairy tales. Until a few short years ago, I'd only known my own world, a speck of land surrounded by sea. But how had I dreamed of, yearned for the world beyond? And, granted guidance from the future, I left the nest behind. As I treaded the path to my master's side, I came in contact with darkness in many forms. I knew even then, as by instinct, terrifying as its power was, it could be harnessed, mastered. Ericus is a blue blood, descended from the very first masters in the age of fairy tales, but I did not come this far to indulge in adulation. I will be his peer, his equal, and to do that, I must learn to wield the power born from both darkness and light in proper balance. Xehanort. So, this is something that I like to remind people who were surprised kind of by the whole Xehanort forcing Sora into the darkness form. Xehanort is a Keyblade master. He uses the darkness, sure, but he doesn't mean he doesn't know how to use light. He knows how to use the power of light. He just chooses to use the darkness. That's why in the end battle between him and Sora, he forced Sora into the darkness form and he was using light-based attacks to see if that would have any kind of a better effect. Obviously didn't. I whooped his butt. But, you know, something to consider. Obviously this is Xehanort, as you can see from the ending here. Ericus is descended from the very first masters in the Age of Fairy Tales. That would mean Ericus is a descendant of one of the foretellers. Now, which set? The first set of foretellers or the second set from the Dandelions? Who knows? I don't think anybody knows. If they do, let me know. It'd be nice to find out. I should have Googled that a minute earlier. See if there's any results. But I don't think we know who Ericus is a descendant from. But other than he comes from the Masters. Xehanort apparently doesn't. We do know already that Xehanort comes from Destiny Islands. He's from the same place that Sora and Riku are. A popular theory is that Xehanort is the great-grandfather or something of Riku. I don't think so, obviously. But it's not impossible, I guess. Maybe. Question mark? I don't know. But no, I don't think Xehanort is some kind of great-great-grandfather to Riku. It's just entirely possible that multiple people have white hair. And Xehanort was... Well, no, because I was going to say Xehanort was attached to darkness, and darkness people seem to have white hair. But then there's Riku. Like, Riku's always had white hair. Well, silverish hair, but whatever. Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think it's easy to see where the story goes. That he was going for his Mark of Mastery exam. Experiments of the Heart. Notes on Subject X. Excerpt 1. Subject was found in the central square shortly after dawn. Female, approximately 15 years old. After 7 days' observation, she spoke her first words, but could not provide a name. Subject exhibits sign of profound amnesia and displays concern about which world this is. Her words suggest that she departed her home world with others, though she cannot recall the names of her erstwhile companions. All efforts to explore these memories have met with a rejection response. After his initial experiments on me, Ansem the Wise ceased his research into the heart, his hands stayed by some fear I cannot fathom. Yet this new subject is like me, devoid of memories. She is the perfect sample upon which to continue my master's work. She too could benefit from it. By traversing the heart, we have a direct path into memory. I myself have begun to reclaim my lost past thanks to these very experiments. Who is she? Whence has she come? These are questions no scientist could ignore, and the words she muttered, may your heart be your guiding key. So, this comes after birth by sleep. This comes after birth by sleep. This is a Xehanort who's become apprenticed to Ansem the Wise. This is a Xehanort who hasn't fully recollected who he once was after Aqua bashed his head in and gave him amnesia. This is a Xehanort who's fully dedicated to Ansem's being his lab assistant. Obviously, Ansem was working with a girl when, supposedly Ansem is the reason why all the Heartless are here, but obviously we know that's not true. He's working with a girl that we have never known about. And it's this specific report that gives a lot of people leeway that this must be Scold from Kingdom Hearts Union. Scold, I've mentioned that a few times without saying. Scold is one of the dandelions. One of those that were specifically chosen by Master Ava to live on after the Keyblade War, to be the light that will illuminate everyone again. And it really makes sense because when you go back to the secret report number 1, right? This is what I was talking about earlier. 4 friends and a key. It could be that it is Scold and she's talking about her 4 other friends, because there was 5 chosen to be the leaders of the Dandelions. It was her and 4 others. And for anyone who's really curious and wants like another twist, Ventus was one of those. And it is already confirmed that Ventus from Kingdom Hearts Union, where Scold is from, way back in Fairy Tale Land, be it 100 or 1,000 years ago, who knows at this point, it hasn't been confirmed. But Ventus is from that timeline. And if Ventus is here, Scold could be here as well. But then where are the other 3? Of course, popular theory is that Laurium is Marluxia, which I still hold to. So who knows? We really don't know. But it's the popular theory that's going on right now. She doesn't know who she are. She wants her friends. She wants to know what world this is, what time this is. This has to be someone from the Union, and all logic points towards Scold. So we'll see as far as that goes. Experiments of the Heart, Notice of Subject X, Excerpt 2. Subject's memories have not returned, and our conversations remain less than lucid. What fragments can be gleaned evoke a bygone world, like one out of fairy tales. March Union. As improbable as it seems, the question may not be where she has come from, but when. If she truly has crossed through time, the prospect of probing her heart is all the more compelling. My pilot studies use a handful of subjects, but none possess the fortitude to endure them. Ultimately, all suffered mental collapse. I knew it would be a heavy blow to lose a subject as unique as she. Upon discovering the test I've been conducting, my master demanded that I cease my work immediately and destroy what research I have compiled. Worse still, he ordered the release of my remaining subjects. She's gone. Where is Subject X now? Has wise Master Ansem hidden her away? Whatever the case, I will not be deterred. I will take her place as the first subject in the grand experiment to come, Xehanort. And this is how Xehanort ends up discovering the nobodies. Because Ansem Diz took whoever this mysterious girl is away, Xehanort then decides, well, I'm going to look into the depths of the heart myself. And so he and his other assistants end up discovering the nobodies, basically, and they become nobodies. So, again, it's still, this is the only thing that gives pop. I still think it's Ava. I'm still in that boat, but this is the only thing that leads to it could really be Scold. But I still think it's Ava, because they both fit either way. They really do. Memoirs, Excerpt 1. The castle was a wonderland to us as children. Within its walls, Ansem the Wise conducted his research, and the fruits it bore allowed everyone outside to live in peace and happiness. That alone was enough to stoke our interest. Though not all of the rumors that escaped its walls were so benevolent, by night the muffled sounds of human wails emerged. There was talk of dangerous human experimentation. Lee and I couldn't help but hatch a plot to steal inside and state our curiosity. The 2 who stood guard at the gates were researchers themselves, though you wouldn't think it to see them, massive and barrel-chested as they were. and slipping past that duo was only the first hurdle. It proved one not easily cleared. We were found and tossed out on our ears time and again. On the day we finally secured our entry, we descended the long spiral stairs at the heart of the castle to find a dark space below it, lined with cages. There wasn't light enough to see if they were inhabited, and we were in no position to call out to any occupants within. Yet, we could feel it, a definite presence there in the black. Terror washed over us, and we immediately regretted coming. But, just as we turned to flee, we heard the faintest of voices. The urge to run was nigh overpowering, but someone or something beckoned us on. There, framed by a sliver of light, we found her. Sayax. I'm going to go ahead and read the next one before we get here. Memoirs Excerpt 2. It was too dim to make out her features. We spoke to her in hushed whispers. Who was she? Why was she imprisoned here? She had no answers for us. Had no memories at all. She was an enigma, but I knew I wanted to help her. And so we continued our infiltrations. Most of them stopped short at the castle gates. When we did manage our way inside, we spoke with her. That was all the comfort two children like us could offer. But Lee had other ideas. He was determined to free her. We slipped into the castle that day knowing only that we wanted with all our hearts to save her. But we did not find her inside on that day or the next, or any of our subsequent visits. Had she been moved? Had we simply imagined her? Lee and I knew there was only one way to be certain. And so we stand before the castle gates today, not as trespassing children, but in order to become Ansem the Wise's newest apprentices. Sayax. So this is what Sayax and Lee were talking about throughout the last battle of Kingdom Hearts and whatnot. This is who they were looking for. Which means obviously it wasn't Kairi, it wasn't Xion. I'm a little sad by it. I was calling it out through the whole playthrough, but I had not seen the secret reports. Again, it still leads that it's Ava or Scold. And the reveal is going to be huge, I think, whichever we find out. But this basically means that Sayax and Lee, who we already knew were best friends, knew that Ansem was keeping someone in there. And knew from the beginning they didn't want to work for Ansem the Wise or whatever. Their whole goal was just to free this girl who they had barely met. On the replica program and reanimation. Following my erasure and recompletion as a human, I did not awaken right away. Perhaps the damage was exceptionally grave. Even after waking, I remained in bed, pondering my next course of action. In my work on the replica program for the organization, I produced some 20 vessels. Most of the early results were failures. Not one of them granted a number. The first success to emerge from that early lot was the Riku replica. Subsequently, Xion, number I-1, was essentially indistinguishable from a natural human, though she became unstable due to the influence of others. Using those two as my foundation, I worked to construct a number of nigh-perfect replicas. But just as they neared completion, my efforts were cut short. I suspect Xehanort aims to use both the initial lot as well as the unused replicas for my later work. I arose today and decided to walk out to the square, my first outing in some time. Yet my stroll was interrupted when a surprising visitor appeared with an unexpected offer. Though younger than me, he'd risen to become Xemnas' right hand. I accepted his terms and became a nobody once more, eager to gain access to the old replica program that way. Whatever it takes to atone. Vexen. So as we saw, Vexen truly was sorry for what he had done. And he did want to atone. He's working with Diz. The person who approached him, Sayax. Sayax is the one we know who became Xemnas' right hand. Though he was higher in numbers, he was pretty much the second in command. If I'm not mistaken, Sayax is number 5, number 6. Can't think right now, but anyway, Sayax is the one who approached Vexen, and they were willing to work together. The real organization. Xehanort seeks to gather 12 vessels, which together with his true actual self, he considers the real Organization 13. Now he has the numbers he needs. Dimix and I are being treated as reserves. Several others who served Xemnas in the old organization have followed the same course as mine, electing to abandon their newly restored humanity and rejoin the real organization as nobodies. Which I said earlier kind of creates a frustration in the story, but whatever. But not Xemnas. Xemnas cannot exist in the present because there's already a Xehanort here, the old man in charge. The old man's humanity prevents his heartless and nobody, Xemnas and Ansem, others vanquished in the past, and his younger self from being denizens of this time. To circumvent this, Xehanort is using the prototype replicas I created in the past as containers. plucking his other selves' hearts from time they existed. Xehanort ordered me to refine the prototypes to make them closer still to the real thing, perfecting my creations so they may house true flesh and blood humans suit my own purposes as well. All that remains for my atonement is to devise a way to pass on as many of the vessels as I can to those who truly deserve them. And thus how Naminé and Roxas both got bodies. Roxas's body was delivered, and of course, as we know, once Sora releases heart to Roxas's heart, he's zoomed all the way to the lab, got into the body, then zoomed all the way back to save Xion. Oh, there you go. And then, of course, Naminé's new body. Antem's Code Conspectus. Except for 1. I have poured over the data my master entrusted to Riku. Here I offer my preliminary conclusions. Within Sora's heart are 3 compartmentalized boxes, each containing the heart of another. We saw this whole thing basically in the story already. One box holds Roxas, another holds Xion, a second heart that has been with Sora nearly as long. The third has held its heart for much longer, Ventus. These hearts have melded with Sora's and no longer have voices of their own. Any attempt to mechanically extract them could prove as dire for Sora as what caused him to become a Heartless in the first place. First, a vessel for each heart must be readied. Then, a spark of some sort is required to induce its waking. Obviously, the ideal solution is to restore each heart to its own body, but whatever the case for the 2 unknown individuals, Roxas possesses no such thing. The same is true for Naminé, who we believe resides in Kairi's heart. Still, if alternate bodies can be secured for them, all their hearts require to be awakened is that spark. People they care for and who cared for them, who can show them the way home. Complete and perfect digitalization of the heart is impossible. We can only hope to partially reconstruct it. Thus, I see no way forward but to extract the hearts we so desperately need directly from within Sora. Fortunately, the data stored in Twilight Town contains a near-perfect record of the memories of those who live there. And for Roxas and Naminé especially, this is crucial. So this is Ienzo, this is what he already told Sora, we already know this. Second code. As for how to contain their hearts, the only conceivable option is the replicas. If we transfer in the digital memories from the Twilight Town archive, the replicas should be able to reconstruct each individual's human appearance with near-perfect results. Then, their hearts need only the right spark to wake them, so that they may find their way out of Sora and Kairi and into those newly made bodies. The replica program was truly revolutionary, but it's incomplete at the time of the old organization's dissolution. Without Evan, how are we to further the research? Vexen, by the way. We need at least 3 replicas. 1 for Roxas, 1 for Naminé, and 1 for Ventus, which obviously we didn't need to. Ventus had his own body. These are difficult quandaries, but as I work through the Master's data, I find myself remembering the taste of ice cream. When I was a boy, he would bring me some when we took walks together. There will be time to regret my betrayal later. For now, my focus must be on restoring Roxas and Naminé and proving my master a good intention. Yes, we've seen Diz walk with a young Ienzo in Birth by Sleep, I believe. It was Birth by Sleep. I want to say Dream Drop Distance, but no, I think that was Birth by Sleep. Observation. I have seen it through. The Keyblade War unfolded exactly as written on the Lost page. Now the Keyblade the Master entrusted me must be bequeathed to another. This is Lushu, aka Zigbar. Pay attention. 5 Union leaders have been chosen from the surviving Dandelions. I will pass the Keyblade to one of them, and then continue watching the future unfold. Yet, it seems that someone has pulled the old switcheroo. One of the 5 is an imposter, someone the Master did not choose. They represent a virus in the program he so carefully wrote. The virus has become a strange undertaking, a reckless plot to allow the 5 to escape into another world line. Surely such a thing can't be possible. We're talking about the same trick that allowed the Dandelions to transfer to other world lines after the Keyblade War. But these children are no masters. They haven't the means, unless, of course, a certain lady of magic summoned here from the future knows more than I do. The whole Union leader thing was supposed to be by the books. Are these new events just another phase in the Master's grand plan? I believe so. I think Lushu knows exactly, or the Master of Masters knows exactly what's happening, and it's just Lucio that's confused. I think the Master of Masters knows Lucio's gonna do some kind of weird, crazy stuff, and so he's already prepared. That's why he's only told Lucio as much as he told him. Such is the thing of a being who can see into the future. Even on a world line with no Keyblade War, peace is but a dream. In the absence of us and our master, a darkness arrived, one that shall surely lead the world to yet another demise. Amid the chaos, I bequeath my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, just as the master instructed. I watched as the 5 were sent to another world line at no small cost, ensuring the line of Keyblade wielders will live on. And now, Keybladeless, I must depart this land to fulfill my final task. This means casting my own body aside and sojourning my heart in vessel after vessel, as many as it takes. But I will continue gazing upon each passing era, one unto the next. In time, be it years or decades, centuries or millennia, I will meet the 5 once more. Somewhere in this cylindrical history of bequeathings, a chosen one will appear and reenact the Keyblade War. When this scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand, that will be the time to stage and finish my role. The Lost Masters will awaken. So again, this is confusing. So basically what this says is that Lucio, aka Xigbar, Bragg, whatever, one of the Union Dandelions, one of the Union leaders, the new Union leaders, was chosen to undertake the unknown Keyblade. That is something we have not seen yet in the Union story. He is not bequeathed unknown to anybody that I know of. I'm pretty confident saying that. Which means that's something we will see in Union eventually, who's going to be part of it. But even then, the person he gives a Keyblade to is not Xehanort. The person who he gives a Keyblade to will eventually give it to someone else, and then someone else, and then someone else, and then that person will give it to Xehanort, basically. So he's been charged with just giving the Keyblade to somebody until it finds someone appear. Well, we'll get into that to the next one, but he's right now he's charged with just watching, waiting until the Keyblade War happens again. In order to awaken the Lost Masters, in order to awaken the first set of Union leaders, the Foretellers, the first set, I'm a little, why? Why was this the goal? So many questions for Kingdom Hearts 4. And I think this is the final one, by the way, yeah. Observations. It seems this body, this name will be my last. The lives I have lived over the ages could fill volumes, but for now I must focus on what matters most. The Keyblade has been successfully passed down generation to generation, and it seems a Keyblade master devoted to the darkness may finally arise. Until now, I have watched over the course of events from a distance. Perhaps the time has come to intervene. I need only play the role of a fool desirous of the Keyblade's power. I will don the mask of his ally in order to keep watch over my Keyblade from close by. This is him pretending to be Xigbar, pretending to be a dumb fool who just wants the Keyblade to Xehanort. The gazing eye. Keyblade forged from the eye of the Master of Masters. He passed it to me, as I have to others, and through it he can see the future. All of that will ever come to pass. Spanning the ages in body after body, life after life, my task has been to keep vigil over the eye as it passes from hand to hand. It has been a long time, longer than I can express. But now at least the Keyblade War has begun, and Kingdom Hearts will open, a true and complete Kingdom Hearts, born of the clash between darkness and light. I will soon be reunited with my old companions, and in that moment, my long vigil will reach its end. He will return. So, this final excerpt gives us what we've been curious about. So, Xigbar, again, he's played the bystander. He ended up playing the dumb apprentice fool who wanted he pretended to be Xigbar. And as we knew from Xigbar's story from Birth by Sleep and whatnot, Xigbar always wanted a Keyblade. He wanted to become a Keyblade master, and that's why he said towards the end, if only I could have become a Keyblade master. He said that to Xehanort, and so Xehanort was like, this young fool. You'll never be a Keyblade master, but I'll pretend. So Xehanort thought he was being the high and mighty person who had Xigbar by the marbles and had power over him, being like, oh yeah, listen to everything I say and I'll give you this Keyblade. When Xehanort really was the fool in this case, because Xigbar was really Lucio, who was the original, well, not the original, but who owned the Keyblade. He's just waiting to get it back. So, apparently this is all to get the Union leaders back, the Foretellers back, which is crazy. Why? Why do the Foretellers get back? The only question answer we have here is he will return. The Master of Masters? See, here's the thing. In Kingdom Hearts back cover, the Master of Masters tells them that he's going away. He gives them their book of prophecies and he says he's going away and that they are now in charge. They're going to be in charge of this book that tells the future, the world that's going to end in darkness, yada yada. And so he disappears. He's gone like that. And of course, Lucio is one of those that he's told when he gives Lucio the mission of like pass his Keyblade on, make sure the eye, because it's my gazing eye, it's how I can see into the future. It's how I wrote these book of prophecies. The fact that the books exist means you did your job. Also, take this box with you, but never open it. Only witness things from afar. So the Master of Masters just left, and I have to wonder. All the foretellers were sad. Like, how can you leave us? Maybe he'll come back. Their biggest thing from all the foretellers, except for Ava, who did her job without, you know, as much hate as the other foretellers ended up having. All they wanted is for the Master to come back. They just wanted for him to come back. And no, we do not know what the Master looks like. So when the Master didn't come back, it's what started the arguments. It's what started wars. And so I have to wonder, what if Lucio's just the same? What if he's just as, I just want to do whatever it takes to get him back? And so that's why all this is going on. I couldn't say for sure, honestly. In the secret movie, we saw that Sora and Riku were in Tokyo, essentially. And we saw a hooded figure who it's assumed is the Master of Masters, and I'm actually going to go ahead and assume that as well. Because I still believe he's out there, obviously. I still think he's there. And it's just a matter of, why has he been gone so long? What has he been doing? What is his overall plan for everything? He's a future seer. He can see the future. So what's his plan for everybody? What is his goal? And right now, we don't know. You know, now that I think about it, something that I didn't call out in the secret movie was the character that we saw Rex playing as the video game character is in the secret movie. That's the guy with the 2 eyes. So, Yozora. The funny thing is that character and that whole game from the Toy Story is supposed to be representative of Kingdom Hearts, of Final Fantasy 13, the canceled game that became Final Fantasy 15. So there's kind of a reason there. Anyways, that's it. That's pretty much all it. I just wanted you guys to see Ultima now, because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I want you guys to discuss, like, what do you think? What do you think is going to be the Kingdom Hearts 4? Who do you think this girl is that Diz was working on to restore memories? Do you think it's Gold? Do you think it's Ava? Do you think it's somebody that I haven't pointed out? The reason why we don't think it's, for example, Indy, like one of the other foretellers, is because they showed up in the Epilogue movie. So that's the one reason why we don't think it's any of them. But I'm really curious, again, I'm really curious what you guys think. Like, who could this be? It's going to be the main answer of the next game. I know it is. Oh, he's in the way. He's in the way. Rude. Let's go ahead and activate this right now. I want you guys to see the transformation. It's so cool. Anyways, so that's pretty much everything, all the end games. I did the Fantastic 7 on another video if you guys want to watch that. This is Ultima. This is what it looks like. It's so beautiful. Oh, right. Giant T-Rex. Oh, come on. Why isn't it working? Got it to work the other day. The F. There we go. Anyways, so let's look at ultimate form so you can see it transform. Feel free to slow down the video though. It looks cool, really cool. And he gets the heart sword, which looks really awesome. Look at that. Look how cool he looks. Even getting hit, he looks cool. T-Rex. I'm jumping around everywhere. Oh, he's armored up, that's why. Ah, so annoying, man. Come on. Shut your face. Oh, stop with that stupid on fire BS, Sora. Come on. You are like super powered right now. You shouldn't be worried about being on fire. Okay. Man, there's a lot to talk about. I didn't expect this video to be an hour, but there's a lot to uncover. Again, I want to know what you guys think. You know, is there anything that I missed that you want to discuss? I'll be super active in the comments as I was with the end video. So if you guys have anything else you want to add, you want to discuss, please let me know. And I'll keep talking about it in the comments. I'm sure we're all excited to see what's going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4. What's next? Where's Kairi? How are we going to save Kairi? One of the biggest things. Oh my gosh, that ending was not expected. I called out from the beginning that I do truly believe someone was going to die in this game. You know, like Avengers basically. You know, someone's gonna die. In order for this to become an epic finale, someone on the good side has to die. I just did not expect it to be Kairi. Of all people, I didn't expect it to be Kairi. Anyway, so that's gonna be it, guys. That's Ultima, a little glimpse at it. I did, and if anyone's wondering for the secret boss, I did that in the video right before this one, so feel free to go check that out. And that's it. Unless you guys are like super, and you have to super request it, because there's plenty of good videos out there about the summary from the other Kingdom Hearts games. But if for some reason you want me specifically to discuss the past Kingdom Hearts games a little more detailed into the story, then feel free to let me know. But until such a time, that's it for me. And I'm done. I've pretty much done everything that I wanted to or could do in this game. This is fun. I'll see you next time, everybody.
Let's see.
Thanks for watching.
Wait, I need a minute.